Yes, indeed. Okay, well, let's move back to the UK and defence matters. And, well, offshore Windgate is what we're titling this. Because, well, it turns out that perhaps offshore wind farms are not so great for aerial defence and certainly for detection of incoming aerial threats. Just to so that everybody understands what the situation is off the east coast of England at the moment. The blue and yellow dots there are all current already established wind farms offshore in some size or other, but nonetheless they're already there. Now, of course, if you've got Brian, a spinning wind turbine and lots of them sitting in the middle of the ocean there, that has an effect on radar, and so the UK government is running a competition to try to mitigate the effects of this. So let's see what the government's saying. These offshore wind farm installations may adversely affect the quality of data obtained from the long-range primary surveillance radars, which are the backbones of the UK's air defence detection capability. Given that the primary task of the Ministry of Defence is defend UK territory, any such degradation of PSR capability will impact the production of the recognised air picture and thus could reduce both the range and time available in which to identify and act on a potential aggressor. This is unacceptable for the nation's security. So on the 27th of January 2023, DASA and the Business Enterprise Industrial Strategy hosted a webinar to test the programme's vision with the wider market and provide the opportunity to inform the programme. The scope of Phase 3 is likely to support technology across three broad categories: radar, stealthy materials, alternative tracking-based solutions. So forget about radar as the third option, use something else. Stealthy materials, are we really considering the possibility of coating wind turbines in stealthy materials, and what would the effect of that be on radar? I think we could have a discussion with that with Alex and Brian in a second. But then the competition that the government is running is aimed at any technology provider within those three categories, as well as original equipment manufacturers, onshore and offshore owner operators and developers who would be interested in collaborating with the technology providers as part of wind farm mitigation for air defence Phase 3. So before we ask Alex, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Well, of course, what we've got unfolding is madness. When they say may adversely affect, clearly it is affecting. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going to this huge amount of time and effort to put out competitive tender. So somebody has made a big mistake that they didn't realise the impact of the wind farms on long-range detection. Now, of course, they realise that Russia completely outclasses the West, the UK, the US, it doesn't matter who, completely outclasses the West with its long-range attack missiles. Then all of a sudden we're beginning to realise that these airborne warning radars are in a bigger mess than they thought. And now they've woken up to the fact they've got problems with the windmills. So are the blades scattering some form of radar signal? That's possible. So you've got spatter and you're not getting any clean returns of detection. But if they then cover the blades with some absorption material, you're going to end up with a black hole. So what we've got here is a disaster. It's incompetence, and it falls in line, of course, with the demise of the services as a whole, which we're going to talk about in this news. I think we should also say, for people who may be interested, that of course the wind farms slaughter birds on a huge scale because they simply get killed by the spinning blades. So these offshore farms are a nonsense, and now it's impacting on the safety of the nation. Interesting.
Absolutely. And Alex, just to put this in perspective, I mean, we've got a number of wind farms offshore already. The aim of the government is to have something like 40 gigawatts of generating capacity by 2030 and then 70 gigawatts by 2040. So clearly what's there already is only a fraction of what's going to be there.
Oh, a very small fraction, and we'll come to Ian Davis's new piece on that, which is already up on the website. He's calculating that there's orders of magnitude more to come if Britain is to make good on its pledge. The map you showed is particularly worrying to me with my old GCHQ hat on, because the wind farm blobs that you showed go up as far as the Yorkshire coast. So that's just above the River Humber for the foreign viewers. That's the kind of large crack along the eastern coast of northern England. Just above there, you've got the Royal Air Force Base at Fylingdales with the chief early warning radar against Russian heavy bombers, the Backfires and the Blackjacks and the Bears. You've also got GCHQ's station at Scarborough, which is integrated with the Royal Air Force and the other armed forces. And one of its chief functions is also detection of what Russian strategic air assets are up to. Not a good sign, but it looks like the Department for Business, Enterprise, Innovation and Skills didn't bother to check with the Ministry of Defence at an early stage.
Indeed. Now,